Good morning, everyone. I would like to know if you identify, listen, read, have some idea what is happening in the markets nationally and abroad, Mexico, please. Okay, so thank you, but please explain uh, talking, please, not writing, because the idea is to share with all the members and make discussion.
Well, I know in some months, or maybe at the end of this year, the NECA agreement will take place like in this year. And and also, well, I was reading about the lithium extraction, which United States um, will exploit this resource in Mexico until we have the infrastructure to can explode by our own. Um, Also, something about the valuation of dollar. I think it's more than just the President Trump talking and putting some. I forgot the word in English, but los aranceles. And well, más o menos.
Tariffs is the word.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the deal. If I have not at least other five comments for each, comment that we accumulate, you need to deliver the work to assess this unit in the number of comments. For example, if we just have the comment of your classmate, you need to deliver the work next Thursday. So at least try to have six to deliver on April, please, and discuss. For example, the strengthening of other monies or the devaluation against dollar. It's mainly because there is an afraid about an attack to Iran due to the activities that Iran is doing to protect petroleum. So my idea is that you share and try to at least guess, or if you read or know, share what is happening in the markets. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so I wait five, at least five comments more.
In the market in the recent it's in and the old prices, um the gold is the price of the gold is increasing, and the people is concerned about what is going on in the USA, because I think it can affect in the whole world, all the decisions that they make, like you already said, like they um they how did you say, like um they ¿cómo se dice de que invadan Irán o así? Este
To open fire in Iran.
ajá, yeah, that, and I know that United States is going out, or like leaving the, like they want to leave the ONU and all these global um global
Organizations,
yeah, the
trades.
global, yes, and I think that can affect in the world, because if I mean if they leave like the ONU, it can let them to take decisions to do something like they did in Venezuela and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. So, as you comment, in general, since the beginning of the year, there is a climate of tension, geopolitically speaking, because the actions that we saw by the United States through the Maduro uh, capture, and then we have several other like signals about other countries protecting itself, like Iran, China, Russia. So this is talking about geopolitical point of view. This week was very tense about that. And in general, countries and industries are trying to keep or wait to see what is going to happen in the following months. So, the following, at least for comments that I am expecting, two should be related with the markets. You already commented something about gold, but there is other metal that was more relevant this week. And the other two, maybe, well, two related with general markets like behavior in stock, international stocks or things like that, and the other related with commodity markets like metals or crops, things like that. Okay, or maybe something politically internal, but I don't think there was something true relevant in Mexico this week about political things or government decisions. Well, there is a law related with real estate important, so I don't know if somebody listened something about this.
No.
No, I'm sad because I give you a podcast of 10 minutes to listen daily what is happening. I already share in the chat some information, so even you cannot read that.
Teacher, give me a minute. It's because I got the flu. So give me some minutes and I will tell you something.
Okay, so if you cannot speak, please write, and that Hansel or somebody else read, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So the ones that do not have idea what are we talking, please make a research about what's happening with the silver and try to comment, please. So we have three comments. Does anybody wants to compliment the comment of Pamela? It was very nice comment, but it is think in a perspective of the U.S. market. So there is some things missing about Mexico situation and perspective of investors are moving the money out of the states to other uh, foreign countries instead of Latin America because in general the opinion of, for example, UK is that United States, as someone comment at the beginning of the class, are moving the uh, equity to Mexico to make like a nearshoring for several activities. However, something that there is also a concern in the international community is if the United States is going to make an invasion to Mexico. That's something Claudia Sheinbaum do not concern, so we should not concern in this moment. But internationally, there is some afraid that the United States try to make an invasion to Canada and to Mexico to unify North America. I don't know. At least, in your opinion, what do you think about that theory?
Professor, I have a question. I understand that um, you mean you're sharing like they are moving the fabrics from Mexico to other near country, right?
No, the investment that they try to make in the US to Mexico.
Okay. Is it because it's cheaper to do it here in Mexico?
It's for two things. Actually, this is not cheaper in Mexico because there is a lot of tariffs made by Trump, and there is also some unpolite policies done by the current and the previous government in Mexico. So naturally, this is not the best option to invest because there's not an ideal climate. For example, at the beginning of the last government, which was Andres, was a very good moment to invest. Even with Peña Nieto, is very good time to make investment because there is a lot of incentives for the government to take foreign equity. However, at the middle of the government of the last president, there were several actions that uh, de-incentivate the investment in the country because he pushed local production. And current government of Claudia is making like a balance between the uh, previous administration and to accept and make incentives for all the foreign equity. However, what it is being very aggressive is that current government is making like a very strong policy about collection through all the organizations in the government. For example, I don't know if someone live in the south of the country, but Treasury, uh, the collection office of taxes, it means SAT, is in the south of the city. I don't know, like for Xochimilco, and there will be several protests because they have the employ the staff of the office requires to collect like impossible amounts of taxes or penalties, so they are making like some protests and stopping working in SAT. Conversation is open, so you can speak.
Okay. I want to comment on what you said about U.S. occupation on Mexico, and also I want to comment about well, I saw that markets, especially in the U.S., closed uh, highly because of the failure of the Supreme Court that Trump doesn't have the power of give unilateral decision on tariffs on other countries, and I saw that make the U.S. market stronger and make the dollar close strongly. And I what my comment was about that I don't see that crazy that U.S. occupied Mexico. One is because of my understanding, the Maduro situation was because U.S. is interested in their petroleum, and used as an excuse to um, capture Maduro to enter the country. And what I saw is that Trump um, gave a warning to the Colombia president of that if he didn't shut up, he would occupy Colombia and then make a like a very small comment about doing the same to Mexico. And to me, it doesn't seem that crazy because he already has been occupying different countries. Like the situation in Palestine, I also understand that has to do with U.S. Financing the Israel army, and recently um, with Venezuela, but also um, what I can remember is that making this like political movements gives the impression that there's nothing the other countries can do, and at the same time, that means that the U.S. It doesn't get stopped, and it will not have an it will not have like stop, and that's really dangerous to me. But that also means that economically, all the things in Mexico right now are being like, okay, we have an agreement, el Tratado Internacional, no sé cómo se dice, but what if the US makes an occupation? That would mean that a lot of Mexico resources are going to become US resources, and that will imply that our economy is going to get really hurt by that. I really hope it didn't sound that crazy.
No, do not sound crazy. So is still pinning one comment.
Um, can you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that I need to see that somebody else is listening at least the class and trying to participate, not the same people.
Okay, I think when you were talking about silver and I guess there is some other metal, the gold. Uh, these two options. I think there are options. They get the highest and historical, price. I think I'm reading a new about this i- i- this silver, I guess. But the thing is they are so volatile because the in the January 30, the silver prices dropped down like 27%. But right now, well, I think it just you know you get the silver price get like a rally stuff. I don't know. And right now we have at least like a 320% um like alza in the price. And I guess that is uh the new that you want us to talk about silver. And well, it also the gold uh rise or reach higher price this week, at least, or at least this month. Okay, so that's what I read about the silver and about the gold.
Okay, thank you for sure. That's very important. Think about or topic that should be put in the table. Um, of course, all the metals, as we come in last class, are making an increase in the markets because there is like a safe good to uh, make a refugee through this uncertainty in the markets. However, it is very relevant to think in this situation of the silver because silver is increasing like it is more than double increase the price, which it is not usual to see that kind of appreciation in a metal. And it's quite strange because silver is used a lot in tech industry and also in jewelry because it's cheap. So now it's being like appreciating a lot. I am very happy because all my jewelry is silver, so I am very happy of that. Finally, I have a good investment in my life. Um, but it is something strange. I don't know if we comment last week, but Pandora used to make the charms with silver, and they decided to change to platinum because they cannot fix the price. Um, and something that it is very relevant is that several times when Latin American countries talk about make like a Latin American Union of countries, they have comment to make the coin with silver to reflect the strength of the or to back up the value of the union in an international bloc. So something that I would like to you review for next class, not Thursday, Saturday classes, is that the first at least first 20 minutes, taking for example 5 to start the class, it means from 7:05, 7:08 to almost 7:30. Try to speak a little bit what happened during the week and to get feedback from the comments that we made last week. So make a tracking of what happening in the markets, something that you comment through uh, um, text or during the conversation is that international markets are very quiet waiting for final results of tech industries because there is several uncertainty in the production on the results. There is still pending, for example, the published results of Nvidia, which is the company which most value in the Nasdaq. Sorry.
Bless you.
Did you?
Thank you. Sorry. So this is some of the points that are relevant through the markets, and there is a reflect on the subsidiaries in other countries and in Mexico. For example, in Mexico, the stock market. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, so go back again. What was I commenting? Ah, yeah. That in general, stock market in Mexico is showing unstable behavior, especially because the mining industry is having an increase in the stocks or in their assets. However, there is one industry that it is having very bad results, which it is uh, corn industry, especially Maseca has a decrease around 7% in the value of the stock during the week. So this is making like a compensation in the results and give us some signals of macroeconomic situation. Even when the inflation it is in a stable levels, the underlying inflation reflects prices with high volatility. So this is very important that we follow up because the next two units, which it is financial risk and market risk, we will review deeply the behavior and the trends in the prices of the um, stocks, instruments, goods, commodities. So I need to be focused and try to uh, be updated in these topics to have a good conversation because this is not a class of high school where we do exercises. We discuss as a professionals. Is it clear for everyone? Okay. So doubts or comments not about the discussion that we made at the beginning of the class about what we and the file that I shared with you last class.
I just have a question to Professor. I didn't understand where you get the information from. Um, I listened that you say something about Secretary of Economy or something like that.
Yes.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Let me see if I can find it because I do it last year. Mm. Yeah, this is the site, I think, as far as I remember, that Data Mexico, which is something, it's more nice now. So this is give us some economic reference from different filters. Visually is very nice. Wow, this is amazing. So from here you can collect and explore something very nice. It looks like Marcelo works a lot. So this is the link, so I will share with you in the chat and use it. But that's where I find very nice website. I'm really impressed. Changing 1 year. It is clear that we have a PhD woman in the government against the previous president. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes.
And well, in the meantime, I find my work file to review today. And please make this comment in Spanish to avoid any misunderstanding in the words. And try to be very honest on what you are going to say to avoid any, I don't know how to say, para evitar prejuicios o comentarios que no correspondan al objeto de la clase. Me gustaría más que los comentarios los hagan los caballeros y después complementen las mujeres de la clase, porque la pregunta es la siguiente: ¿qué opinan acerca de que es momento de mujeres en todos lados?
A mí, por ejemplo, me parece, no sé, una narrativa muy buena. Ah, me gusta que como que se hable de eso, como que trate de incluir a las mujeres en varias cosas, pero a veces, por ejemplo, justo con la presidenta, siento que se centra su discurso y su política en mujeres y deja como lo básico, o sea, ya no trata de conseguir a las mejor personas, sino que sea una mujer. O sea, como que ya no es su regla la eficiencia o la capacidad, sino que sean mujeres. O así yo he visto actualmente en su política, especialmente hablando de la presidenta. Y, o sea, siento que ahí ya hay eh, como un sesgo o algo que hace que justo como que desvía su centralidad de tratar de incluir a poner eso por encima y ya no lo hace tan eficaz. Entonces justo eso ya no me gusta a mí.
Yo creo que las mujeres realmente forman una parte muy grande de nuestra economía. Em, no sé si el comentario de mi compañero era más como de que se le están dando trabajos a las mujeres que deberían darse a los hombres. No creo que es el caso. Creo que México tiene una gran cantidad de mujeres que son bastante capaces. Pero también, yo sí siento que es muy importante darle ese espacio a las mujeres porque, pues, lo que digo es, son bastante competentes. No creo que haya un problema en que una mujer ocupe un cargo. Si está calificada, claro.
Ok, justo lo que quiero, y está bien, los dos comentarios se han mantenido en lo políticamente correcto, pero quiero que cuiden ese tema. No estamos haciendo juicios de valor a las personas, sino a la situación, ¿no? Y quiero hacer la discusión porque una parte importante de su formación profesional es que aprendan, uno, a hablar sobre hechos y no sobre percepciones. Y evidentemente hay que dar una perspectiva, pero no una percepción personal. Por eso quise tocar el tema y quiero que lo hablen en español. Y dos, nunca hablar lo que quiso decir el profesor, lo que quiso decir la presidenta. Lo que la presidenta hizo o lo que la presidenta hace es impulsar eh, los productos mexicanos, incluso el gobierno o la Secretaría de Economía a través de Marcelo se ha esforzado en relanzar la marca Hecho en México y evidentemente sobre la narrativa nacionalista, la presidenta ha tomado ventaja para hacer un empuje hacia la inclusión y la equidad. Ese es el comentario como yo lo percibo, ¿no? Entonces, me gustaría que continúen así hacia lo que ven. Y nada más, pues para dar detalles, hay muchas más presidentas municipales que nunca en la historia, más gobernadoras que nunca en la historia. Actualmente, la organización de gobierno de la facultad tiene una directora. Entonces, son cosas, la jefa de carrera de actuaría es una mujer. Entonces, son de esas cosas que creo que vale la pena no criticar, sino dar el punto de vista, qué estás haciendo diferente, es más humano el trato, a lo mejor las decisiones están más centradas en temas culturales, temas de gobernanza o hay mejor administración del dinero, eso es lo que quiero que comenten.
Yo lo que considero o lo que he visto es que, em, o sea, el hecho de ser mujer no debería cambiar o vaya, o sea, pues enfocarse tipo como en justo eso de que, o sea, porque es mujer se enfoca más en la cultura o así. Pero lo que referente a su comentario del principio, sí, justo lo que yo, es que sí es un juicio de valor, pero sí lo que no me, es que no sé cómo explicarlo. O sea, como que lo que no me encanta es que justo se usa como la política de nada más el hecho de que es mujer, se hacen como cosas o así, o se ponen más puestos en el gobierno o así, o sea, como que tiene más peso eso a la eficiencia o a lo, sí, o sea, es que no sé cómo explicarlo, tipo, o sea, no debería ser un factor el ser mujer para ocupar algo o para tomar una decisión.
Sí, justamente, es que nunca se ha preguntado en una clase como, ¿creen que el que sea hombre presidente tenga algo que ver con su eficiencia? O sea, eso es lo que luego sí llega como a no ser tan correcto. Creo que eso es como que a lo que se refiere nuestra compañera. Y no se está preguntando como qué se está haciendo, qué política se está haciendo, sino el hecho de que sea mujer.
Ujú. Sí, justo, o sea, sí entendí el comentario porque la conclusión que da su compañera es la correcta, ¿no? No debería haber una diferenciación en la toma de decisiones por el género. Y ahí vi en la conclusión que te costó un trabajo, un poquito de trabajo, pero todo lo contrario, te mantuviste en lo correcto, solo no redondeaste la idea. Pero esa es una realidad. No tendría por qué ser una discusión si es Andrés o es Claudia. Es el sexenio anterior y el sexenio actual están haciendo cosas distintas, sí, no, ¿por qué? ¿Vale? No obstante, sí es algo relevante, ¿no? O sea, al final, el sexenio anterior era un sexenio impositivo, ¿no? Que mostraba pues la herencia de la educación que tenía el presidente, más su formación académica, sin importar su género. Y el gobierno actual refleja el esfuerzo de la presidenta para alcanzar la posición que tiene y su preparación académica, ¿no? Lo que se vuelve crítico del gobierno actual, pues es que la presidenta tiene que tomar, está en un momento político difícil, no solo local, sino internacionalmente también, y tiene que tomar decisiones cuando su formación, pues, es de ambientalista, ¿no? Entonces, es difícil esa parte y es donde tiende a parecer que por el género no toman las mejores decisiones, pero no tiene que ver per se con el género, sino con el contexto de la presidenta. Más o menos es claro lo que les decía. Vale. Entonces, no puedo abrir mis carpetas, no sé qué está pasando. Em, But just to end this part, I will share with you one of the paints that I saw on Sunday in the museum that I'd like and reflect, especially how we should understand this same topic of equity. So if someone wants to share with you what do you see in the picture, is okay. If not, save it in your mind. Mm. And if someone knows the name, it would be nice to share with the class. Let me see if I can share. Okay. Yeah, at least the painter, I think you know who is, no?
I have two painters in mind. It
Yeah.
could be Diego Rivera
No.
or the other moralist, which I don't remember the name.
I think it's that one.
Uh,
Siqueiros.
Piqueiros, yes.
What do you see? Does anybody knows this painting? Have seen previously?
No,
No.
I see a woman.
Yeah, it's a mountain. Oh, it's the earth.
De Ista, is it?
Not precisely the Ista, it's the Valley of Mexico. So the paint is called Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
And it is the mountains hugging or holding the city. This, I don't know, pillars here is the buildings of the city. So this is the Valley of Mexico. And below, the Lake of Texcoco. So, very powerful painting to reflect this that or the artist in general, reflects the earth as a woman. Then, if you study any mythology or any religion, usually fertility or life, it is related with women. So it is not that it is different the way that a woman or men, women or men make decisions. It is that each of the gender has or have their own capabilities. And it is not limiting what we can do in general, for example, as a professional. But um, I don't know how to say, and I will avoid this issue because I think this could be more misunderstanding. But it is a complement. The important topic here is a complement, the way that uh, some humans think and some other humans think without the gender. But in the past will be very marked for religion and for society in general, the way that women think and men think. And we still have the heritage of this uh, at least 2000 years of uh, well, at least 500 years of Christian or Catholicism uh, mindset in Mexico society, and in general, the effect on the religions through the world make a differentiation between genders. So that's why you see something, and I think it's my comment, and I will change to Spanish here, is that I agree with this comment that there should not be distinction through the gender. However, it is very normal. Well, I do already in English. It's very normal that we think on that there is a difference or a prejudgment because we are grow in or grew in this society and in this mindset of gender estereotipos de género, no sé cómo se dice en inglés. Pero bueno. Entonces, lo que quiero decir para que seamos una sociedad más empática, ustedes que se van a integrar como profesionales a la sociedad, es que tenemos que dejar de ser prejuiciosos y opositores a los comentarios que a veces se malinterpretan por todo el contexto histórico y social que tenemos como sociedad, ¿no? O incluso como familias, ¿no? Pero a mí me sorprende muchísimo, y no voy a hablar de ustedes, voy a hablar de mi familia o de mis amigos, de mis amigas, que son súper feministas, pero le sirven la comida a su esposo y le lavan los platos. Que no comparten tender la cama, ¿no? Que a pesar de que trabajan y son el sustento, van por los hijos, ¿no? Y son cosas que me parecen absurdas, ¿no? O sea, muy absurdas porque quieren hacer un cambio a nivel macro y no hacen un cambio a nivel micro. Entonces, sí les pido que seamos muy empáticos porque es muy fácil hacer un prejuicio, ¿no? Y decir, es que no se vale, los hombres deberían lavar los trastes y no sé qué, pero el día que, ojalá tenga un día la fortuna de conocerlos, el día que compartamos una mesa y yo les diga voy a lavar mi traste, me digan, no, ¿cómo cree, profesor? Pues ¿qué tiene? No me va a pasar nada, ¿no? O sea, y se los digo en buena onda, porque yo tengo un conflicto con el feminismo fuerte, porque tampoco es equidad eso, y lo que yo les digo es que yo lavo mi ropa, yo hago el quehacer en mi casa, yo me cocino, yo sé hacer mis cosas solo, y también sé aprovechar cuando soy invitado y quien sea tiene la cortesía de ayudarme con las cosas. Eso es equidad. No estar diciendo que laven los hombres o que laven las mujeres. O sea, eso es lo que es inconsistente y les pido que se lo lleven como reflexión, eh, aprovechando que la discusión se abrió en esto, ¿no? Ya, yo creo el otro mes, ya que regrese de Japón con una visión oriental, hablamos de cómo se ve el mundo al otro lado. Em, ok, bueno, lo que les voy a compartir ahorita es un ejemplo. Sorry, change to English. So I will share with you an example of how to do the regressions that we see last class in Excel, now in R, to give you more tools about your practice. And if there is no doubt or comment, we will end the unit here. So Thursday class could be used to check or review doubts about the first unit. If not, we will move forward to the next unit. And as I comment, you should to comment the themes until tomorrow, select your topic until February, and deliver the final document until March. Okay? So for today class, I will use some data from INEGI. Here we have information, and as your classmates comment last class, we need to make the same period time in the data to do this. This information is already cleaned, but it is not in the same standard time. So here I have I forgot how to say tasa de descuento. Yield rate, I think. Um,
Discount rate or something.
this discount rate, yeah. Thank you. Here we go, open it. So, then I have IPL that I do not remember what is IPL. Oh my god, I need to save my notes to be sure what I'm doing in the classes. So discount rate, IPL is percentage, index of labor population laboring, which in this case is, okay, yeah. Oh, no. Well, what I want to estimate is unemployment. So, sorry. So we have, yeah, I think it's unemployment rate. No, index of, índice de población laborando, normalmente activa. So it is employment rate. This is the reference and change of the minimum salary. Yes, no.
And what happened with the people that have like an informal job?
This is considered active populated people. It is considered informal job by INEGI.
Okay.
So in general here the index, as you can see, it is greater than 100% because even when there is active people or the possible active labor people, we have more employment than the people. So it means that people over active period is working or under active period is working in Mexico. It's something relevant that. This is a reference of the change in the minimum salary, the average minimum of 3 monthly salaries, minimum salaries. IGAI, does anybody know what is IGAI?
No.
Well, it's an index to approach the GDP, which is this EMPC, IMPC. The IMPC is published quarterly, so IGAI is an estimation with underlying inflation that is published and estimated by INEGI monthly. So this gives us like the forecast of the GDP. So we will use this, I don't know, here is the unemployment rate, and yeah, this is index of laboring population. So we will estimate column C with, or try to do with these 4 variables. This is my already clean data. This is the first step that you need to do to prepare the data and explore and explain the data. So I will close this and I will go to R. Comments or questions until here?
I have I didn't understand like clearly what is igai.
Es un estimador de la inflación subyacente o del crecimiento económico subyacente.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so let me run my code to see that everything is working well. Okay, so here we have already uploaded the data that we review in Excel, and we have 40 observations of 7 variables. And here we have the summary, which it is something that you need to do at the beginning of the or the first criteria to assess which period of time we are seeing from 2005 to 2014. The information is quarterly, beginning for the first quarter of the period through the fourth quarter of the period. It means we have from first quarter of 2005 to fourth quarter of 2014. As variables, we have unemployment rate, IPL, reference of monthly minimum salaries, IGAE, and IMPC. And this is like the statistics. So for example, the descriptive part could be done with this. Just with this table, you are already making an analysis of the descriptive statistic analysis of the variables. Of course, for me, it's important that you put tasa des means tasa de desempleo and refers to the number of people who has not employment over total active economic population. Is it clear?
Yes.
So I am running here the function core to set the correlations between 3 to 7, which is from unemployment to GDP. And then here in the code says to review relation in pairs, we can plot dispersion graphics. So I will run this line of code. And this is something that you already should know how to do in statistics or in probability. But here we have a dispersion matrix to analyze in pairs the variables. Unemployment through IGAE, unemployment through EPL, unemployment through minimum salary, unemployment to GDP. So there are ones that, for example, here, they shows like a behavior or a trend, this in pairs. And there's others that looks like wired or dispersed. For example, EPL and IGAE looks like do not have relation. There are other ones that shows clear lines or clear behaviors. So that's the one that have a functional or a dependency relation that could be reflect with regression. Is it clear for everyone, this part? Okay. So going back to my code, we will start the regression model analysis with one variable and then adding more. So what I will do is to set a new way to plot just with 2 by 2 square of graphics or matrix. And I will plot unemployment through IGAE and make the regression. So here I am estimating the values of the regressions and plotting the regression for the 4 variables individually. Okay. So here we have a simple linear regression for unemployment through the 4 variables that we are analyzing. So the ones that in linear regression looks reasonable are IGAI and GDP with different behavior. GDP is the one that looks better. For example, number of employed people who earns more than 3 minimum salaries, which is the right down corner plot, shows nothing. It means it looks like a uniform distribution and also EPL. So IPL. So this looks like these two variables are not so relevant. However, IGAI and GDP looks like that at least have something to reveal in terms of this. Is it clear for everyone how we are making this? This is the first step of the task, making just descriptive analysis and try to set the model. Doubts or comments?
Sorry, teacher, but what is this? This plot or this graphic?
The
It means
linear
is it
regression.
linear regression already?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Simple linear regression. So what I will do now is to make the linear regression, but for the 4 variables, not simple.
Professor, I have a question. Why EI is like negative, or the plot?
It is not negative, it has a negative relation. So it has an inverse relation through the unemployment rate. Why? We need to go deep in this, but it has sense because EI reflects economic behavior. So when economic growth, so when economy is okay,
The unemployment is growing also?
no, the unemployment decrease.
Okay.
That's why it's inverse. Good economy, more employment. So that's positive. Why is why EMPC goes in that way? But we are seeing unemployment, not employment. Okay, the one that is strange is the GDP. But maybe because GDP, since GDP is punctual, they reflects in delay the trend of unemployment, or in the other way, there is a lag between unemployment and GDP. And probably guy reflects more accurate at the point, the behavior. It sounds reasonable for you?
Yes.
Okay. So with this
Sorry,
concept,
I have a question too in the IPL.
yeah,
Also, I didn't understand that.
I have not remembered what is IPL, so let me check and I will share with you next class.
Okay.
Somewhere I have the explanation of that, but I do not find in this moment. But I believe that it is an index of ah, es el índice de población laborando. O sea, es cuántas personas trabajan contra cuánta población está en edad económicamente activa, según yo, pero la verdad no estoy seguro.
I look for it. Creo que significa índice de productividad laboral.
Okay, something like that. So, well, we will save in this variable MODT or MODT, a linear model, which is this is the function for linear model regression, using as a dependent variable, an independent variable unemployment rate and the other force. So the way to build the model in R is very easy. You select the variable that you want to explain, then put this thing that I do not remember how to say in English, and then the variables that you want to use with sum or with the plus sign to explain that you are adding in a linear way the variables. So I will run this, just these two lines, and we are calling the formula linear model, explaining tasa de desempleo with these four variables. The residuals are these, which are near to zero, so it is a good linear regression models. The coefficients are, the intercept is this, for IGA this, blah, 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 blah. And residual standard error, almost zero, with 35 degrees of freedom. Multiple R squared, 66%, so it is reasonable. R squared adjusted, 62%. F statistics 17 on 4 and 35 degree freedoms, and p-value near to zero. So the p-value is the one that it is here, not so reasonable, but the other statistics are reasonable. So let's analyze the contribution of each variable to this regression. I will run these 3 lines of code. What's going on? Oh my God. Okay. Mm. Okay. So this is not an statistic class, but here we are seeing the contribution of the coefficients or the betas on the linear regression here, and how it contributes in the regression. So I am not intending to explain you the statistic methods or the way that you can prove the how reliable is your model. I am showing you some tools, but you can use other ones, of course, making reasonable things. For example, here are seeing the contribution in the linear regression through the coefficients. If we add variables, it is not so easy to explain, but different line depends what variable are we adding. And so until we are more near to zero, it is better, depending how many variables we add and how we combine these variables. So after analyze this contribution, the next step that I do in the class is create four models, adding in each one of the variables to see the linear regression with 1, with 2, with 3, with 4. And we will select which is the best model through the AIC criteria, which is also the Akaike and the adjusted R square. So I will create this statistic AIC and adjust the R, and well, let's see TAF is. So for the first model, we have an adjusted R of 39.5%, second one 46, third one 61 and 62, and AIC are very similar, or the Akaike is very similar between model 3 and 4. So in general, what we can say, even that it is greater in model 3, so we can select between model 3 or model 4 because has almost the same explanation. Even that, from my point of view, as simpler as better. So maybe select the three variable models will be the best option. And also we can, for example, explore information of the residuals through these lines of code, for example. So until here, any doubt, comment, question, something that you want to know?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay. So here we are plotting the residuals. This is the one that I want to show. Let me do it later, this part. Here we are seeing from the model of four variables, residual versus fitted, which it is around 0, which is one of the, I don't know, the desirable behavior of the residuals around 0 and with contain volatility, and it is also marking which are the outliers or the values that are outside of standard variance. QQ residual, which it is also good fitting. Scale location, and here we saw some skewness in the higher values, and the residual leverage. So this is some of the statistical proofs that we need to do to the residuals on a linear regression model. And finally, just to see which will be the distribution of the errors in a linear regression model.
Normal.
normal distribution. So we have here the errors of the regression, and looks not so different for a normal distribution. What I am doing in the console is to run the Anderson-Darling good of fitness test, and we have a p-value of 92%, so we do not reject normal distribution in the residuals. Things looks a nice regression. Of course, it's a nice regression because this is some study that I do in my master and take us around 1 month to prepare this model. So it is, of course, already polished. I am not expecting so advanced analysis, but at least try to do. You already have the code. I will upload maybe next week. And you have almost 1 month to do this. So what I want for you is to try to do your best. Of course, do not make something very complex or something that takes to you a lot of time to prepare, but try to do a reasonable model. Okay? Yes,
In what is your master degree?
in risk management. And just lastly, show here points. Pink lines and points are the current data or the observed data of unemployment, and the blue line and the blue points are the one estimated with the model. So it's not precisely equal. We have here these spaces where there is like bias, but in general reflects well the trend. So it is a reasonable model at least to have trend. Okay. Questions or comments? Yes, no, we are not yet in the more in the class.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
So data and code is already published in the classroom, so you can review it. Please review it, make comments, things like that. And also remember that today, no, tomorrow, you should publish the themes for the final practice. Yes.
What would mean like you already said the bias between the blue and the pink one, like uh, economic, I don't know how to say it, the fall of the economy or something like that.
Well, what this could mean is that in the variables that we are selecting, there is not enough information to set something that happens punctually in that moment of time. And also that there is some like maybe overfitting or underfitting. Because for example, at the first observation, it is here. So here is very good adjust, here is very good adjusted except for this. But for example, here is not precisely in the trend, it is good adjust, but there are several bias in these points. But in the average, the residuals are normal distributed, so it is acceptable to say that the model predicts the trend well. So how we can interpret it, for example, this bias is that probably happens something um, atypical or a government decision that changed the trend through the economic variables, may be guided by a social or a political decision. And what I think this should be like around 14 quarters, which it is 4 years after 4.5 years after 2005. So it is 209. So maybe it's the effect of the crisis of 2008-09, which it is affecting the behavior of unemployment through the fear of the economic instability. Okay?
Okay.
So, if there is no doubt or comment, I think we can end the class here today. As I comment, the data and the model is already uploaded in the classroom, so you can consult and please review it. And if you have any doubt or comment, we can review next Thursday. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, teacher. You too.
Thank you,
Yeah, thanks to
teacher.
you.
You too, teacher.